No problem at all. So I want to honor Dr. Plant's time, guys. I'm so excited that Dr. Plant agreed to be part of this call. I know he's probably still riding an adrenaline high coming off of the incredible job that he did. Everyone is talking about Dr. Plant for various reasons, but he's definitely the talk of the town for lots of reasons that have some to do with science and some to do with biology and science. But in any event, without further ado, let me just quickly tell you, for anyone who doesn't know, Dr. Plant is a gift to this company. He's been with us a little over 4 years. And I remember when he first started, I remember hearing his story, how compelling it is. And he's one of those people without really reading his full bio. I mean, he went to the University of Utah, and he also went to Harvard. He's extremely qualified, and we are so lucky to have him. But I think one of the greatest gifts and what you'll find with him, not only does he have a business mind, this acumen just for driving the line in business, but he also explains science in a way that I think you'll agree, you too will understand in a way that you might wonder if you could have gone to Harvard. You might not have graduated first, but maybe top 20, because he makes you feel like you grasp these concepts so strongly because he explains it in that kind of way. To be brilliant and articulate and have the ability to explain in such a level set way is such a gift.
You're
Dr.
welcome.
Plant, thank you so much for being here. Dr. Plant, I saw you in a second ago. Where did you go? While we're waiting for him to come on, and Laura,
does it work? My hair.
There you are. Hi.
And I muted him. I didn't realize it said iPhone. I'm muting all these people, and I muted him. Sorry, Dr. Plant.
Okay. There we go. Hi. Nope, still muted.
Yep. Sorry, Dr. Plant. Gosh, that was totally my fault. I realized.
All right. We're here. Hey, how's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? So thanks for having me on this call, everyone. It was an absolute wonderful time at Celebration. It was so great seeing so many of you there, and to get to see you guys again. And rumors are that you guys are kind of wanting to learn a little bit about the products that we just launched, and also kind of what's coming out. Is that right, Jessica? Or is that
That's absolutely right? Absolutely correct. Yes, please.
Feel free to hit that mute button like you have been, and just send me on my way. It's something that I do. So you guys got me casual. They actually gave us the day off here at corporate because everyone was flying back yesterday and today. And so I was in there this morning, took a half day. And so you guys have me at my home, just kind of chilling this evening. So hopefully the kids aren't too much of a racket, and I can kind of communicate with you guys. But we had a great celebration. And the first thing I want to talk about are these new energy bites that we launched. This is something that's really interesting. A lot of times we think about health and the aspect that has, or supplementation, and how that may aid us in reaching our physical goals, looking better, losing some weight, maybe gaining some muscle. But there's so much more evidence out there that supplementation has many more benefits to that, just more than just the physical or the vanity approach as well. And a big part of this is actually in our mental capacity, our ability to think clearly, our ability to articulate, our ability to remember and concentrate. These things that we all seem to be struggling with an immense amount in today's world, whether it be because social media is stealing our attention, or whether it's because we are just being inundated with so many things that are stealing our attention that we're unable to focus. And because of that, we're having a hard time remembering things. The clearest example of this is how often are you just meeting somebody and they introduce you to, they tell you your name, and before they even finish that sentence, you have no recollection of what that person's name is. And that, unfortunately, is a sign of our working memory being deteriorated. That's what that working memory is. We can maybe recall what we had for lunch the first day of school in 7th grade just fine. But for whatever reason, our working memory, that which is meant to be used in like the 30 minutes, is just deteriorated drastically. And so what we are learning now more and more is that there are ways in which we can supplement to enhance our working memory. And we're learning a little bit about the biochemistry behind this. It's neuroplasticity. That's a big word, but I'll just break it down. Neuro meaning brain, and plasticity meaning malleable or new. And so we were always taught, or at least I was, that the brain cells you have are there forever and don't ruin them. And it was probably a way to try to make sure to scare us into not doing drugs, right? Like, don't go out there and huff paint, because once you kill those brain cells, they're never growing back. And it worked. And in large part, it's true. But it's really only half the truth. We're also learning that the brain cells, these neurons, which connect the axon, the tail of those neurons, and that spiky part of the neurons, they connect. And that's how memories and thoughts are made. And in that aspect, as neurons die, the brain has this immense capacity to not necessarily generate new neurons. It can slowly over time. But more important, it has an ability, if that neuron dies, to create a new connection, that neuroplasticity. And this is a growing area of science that we're learning more and more. And there is particular proteins that our brain makes that encourages that neuroplasticity. This is a huge area of science right now and discovery. And these proteins, we know we can stimulate them through exercise. And what was thought of as the leading candidate to do it before was actually coffee. People who drink coffee tend to show greater neuroplasticity. So, just like me, I am constantly downing the devil's brew of coffee, relyingly heavy on that research to keep the brain as malleable as possible, that neuroplasticity. Well, it wasn't too long ago that they found that there is an extract out of the fruit of the coffee, not the actual bean, but the coffee plant has a red fruit in it. And this red fruit, if you take an extract and you put it on brain cells, they will actually make a lot more of these proteins that enhance neuroplasticity. Oh, this was huge. This was groundbreaking. Everyone was super excited about this. You see all of this protein be made. And then they actually took it into the individuals, and they see that the brain is lighting up more in these individuals when they supplement with this. And that was great. Now, we weren't necessarily had the utmost confidence in this, because even though you can show that this particular protein is enhanced, it doesn't necessarily equate to, does it make a physiological difference? There are those correlations, but we always want to make sure at Isagenix that we have an immense amount of data to support what we're doing. And so what they did is they actually, a follow-up study was, hey, it's leading and making these particular proteins, but more importantly, is it helping people enhance their working memory? And so first thing they saw is that there was a 130% increase in the making of those neuroplasticity stimulating hormones, about 8 times more than what coffee alone did. So it just shatters everything. Now we put it into the working memory studies. These are the types of studies to where you'll take groups of individuals, you ask them to do simple arithmetic, 8 plus 5 equals 13, for example. And then you ask them a few seconds later, what was the last digit of that arithmetic that you did? And they'd have to remember 3. And you just kind of keep progressing down that line, and you go and they measure the rate at which they can recall, the accuracy in which they recall, and so forth. And what they found was that there was a 40% increase in the working memory of individuals over the placebo. This was huge. Now, this was obviously was quickly patented and everything else, and Isagenix got its hands on it. And so what we have done with these energy bites is not only have we done things in this with caffeine and L-theanine, it's got about 65 milligrams of caffeine in it, which is about 2/3 a cup of coffee. But utilizing the clinical dose of this particular extract, we're able to enhance individuals' working memory, giving them the greater articulation. Now, of course, this is part of the Isagenix system. It's incorporated in the snacks that you can do and still maintain the results that you're looking for weight loss and muscle gain. But now throughout the day, you're able to also enhance your mental capacity. It is absolutely groundbreaking and earth-shattering. And so these things, the aspect of how these works is remarkable. But unfortunately, what people are talking about more than what they feel like when they take it and how it works, unfortunately, is how good it tastes. Like, we always talk about being a market disrupting product, meaning we're going to go out and we're going to solve people's problems. I never realized that when we talk about market disruption, these things taste so good. Like, we're going to be taking out like the Snickers world, right? Like, It is so good and great tasting. And so absolutely wonderful. It's a great part for individuals that are following the Isagenix system, where they can take a couple of days throughout the day and still maintain those snack credits that they're looking for, see those weight loss that they're looking for. And how nice is it that you're doing that? You're also thinking exceptionally clear and articulate, and you've enhanced your working memory throughout the day. And so these things are absolutely great. Now, in addition to that, we also launched a few limited edition flavors, like I'm sure some of you have seen the pink e-shots. Oh, those things are great. You chill them, wonderful e-shots, the same exact formula, just a limited edition flavor, and also a limited edition flavor of the Bia that we launched. So wonderful, so wonderful. And for those that were in attendance, I believe they were also able to take part in a survey that we have. So we have like a couple thousand that we will be looking at launching potentially a self-tanning product using like over 85% organic ingredients, kind of absolutely remarkable in that. So many of those self-tanning mousses are so full of toxic ingredients. We have one that is largely organic and exceptionally natural, and the results were great. And so we wanted to put that out there and see how people respond. But before I begin that, I have to admit, this tan is natural. Everyone asks, this one's natural. I haven't used it yet, but my wife and several others have. And it is a great, great product that we've seen tremendous results with. So we wanted to open that up to individuals to get large scale feedback as well. And if everything goes well, we'll probably be looking to launch that sooner than later. And so the products at the celebration were overwhelming. But I'm biased. I do think that the greatest product that we launched there was the culture. Oh, such tremendous friendships and encouragement. That community, which there's such strong evidence that a community is so important, not only for our mental health, but physical. Individuals who have a strong community actually live about 8 years longer than those that don't. So yeah, I'm grateful for the strong community that I'm going to be able to part of there at Isagenix. So Jessica, do you have any other questions with the products that we launched at Celebration?
I don't know. I don't see any questions in the chat, Dr. Plant, specifically about those products, but I'd love if you talk just about the 3 criteria, just if you really talk about the 3 foundational principles. Yeah. I think that's important for people to hear if they weren't at Celebration, or in just a recap for those who were.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that's critical. Is a lot of people always ask me, and I'm scrolling through the pictures here and of you guys, and I really appreciate you being so vested in this. And a lot of people ask me, like, "Hey, Dr. Plant, what separates Isagenix apart?" And it's a little frustrating for me, because that means I'm not doing my job well enough. And so I really wanted to take about 20 minutes there at Celebration and really articulate what makes Isagenix different. And it's not one thing. Unfortunately, it's not. And there's 3 criteria. It's simple, proven, and natural. And those are the 3 buckets. Other companies and other industries do very well in 1 or 2 of those buckets. So for example, the pharmaceutical industry does exceptionally well in doing things that are proven and doing things that are simple. You pop a pill, your problem is quote unquote solved, and it's been proven through different studies. But they forego that natural aspect. And because of that, it's hard to have confidence in the long-term stability of that particular product and ultimately being integrated into our culture and our long-term health. Or let's take the aspect of simple and natural. Yeah, there's plenty of companies that are out there. This is largely the supplement space that Isagenix competes with, where you're battling anecdotal stories. You might be hearing about the person who says my 3rd cousin twice removed had this tremendous result. Or you'll see maybe before and afters with all these asterisks that are tied to them. And when it comes to actual proven, in the sense of the rigors of the scientific community, independent, peer-reviewed scientific studies, they simply forego that. They compromise quality by not subjecting their products to the utmost rigor of the scientific community. Or you may have things that are proven and natural, but they're not simple. This is kind of that natural pathway where it's like, go get 12 pits of this particular fruit and boil it for 8 hours, or, get all these different bones and soak it for your own broth. And what happens is, even though this may be proven and natural, it's not simple. And so we find that we don't necessarily incorporate it into our daily lives, or if we do, it complicates our daily lives at the expense of other things. And so at Isagenix, we take it very seriously. When we look at launching products and maintaining our brand, we do that. We need to be leaders in proven, we need to be leaders in simplicity, and we need to be leaders in natural. And just because we are the best in those, that doesn't mean we can't get better. And so we are constantly striving to become more simple, more proven, and more natural. And in that, our products are continually growing and evolving. And this is what has set us apart. When we look at Collagen Elixir, for example, which in the first year sold over $100 million, by far the biggest launch, not only in Isagenix, but probably in the industry. Why it was so powerful is because it provided us a solution that a lot of people, to a problem a lot of people were facing. And the solution was simple. It didn't require an immense amount of regimen each and every day for them to get the benefits they're looking for. It was proven by independent scientists that showed that it stimulated your own collagen production. And of course, natural, utilizing state-of-the-art technology to where we can even use this without different preservatives. It's preservative-free, which is unheard of with respect to a marine collagen. And when we align those three circles, that is where Isagenix loves to live. And that is what separates us. You'll find that companies that may be one or two of those, but Isagenix sets the standard by aligning and not cutting corners at any one of those areas to deliver a solution for its consumers. And so that is why it's so critical at Isagenix that we may not be the first to launch a product, but we will never compromise our quality. And the big part of making sure we don't compromise our quality is making sure that we are leading not only with the raw ingredients we put in, but that it is also simple, proven, and natural. And it may require a little bit more work, it may require a little bit more time, but that is why Isagenix is second to none in that space.
Dr. Plant, it's no secret to anyone, and anyone listening to you even for the first time can tell, you're a hot commodity. Any company would seeking you and want you to be part of their scientific community. What makes you so excited about Isagenix in the future here?
Yeah, there's a variety of different things that do. And the first thing that comes to mind here is one, I absolutely adore Jim and Kathy, but I'm also excited for the new ownership group that has come. The immense amount of capital, $100 billion of assets under their management, that there is no limitation to what our ability is at Isagenix. There's no financial constraints. There's none of that. And so to be aligned in that professional board, I think this shows just the true altruism of Jim and Kathy to make sure that Isagenix succeeds beyond their capacities, which is, to my mark, or in my opinion, a mark of true leadership. And now, as this professional board and ownership group comes in, when we begin and we're talking about the products and the excitement and the research and development that come here, as a scientist, it's like walking into dream labs and dream resources to allow these visions that my team has and allow them to come forth. And so that is one aspect. And so when we talk about this, we're going to start seeing a lot of these fruits of these products coming out probably at the first of the year in 2025, maybe towards the tail end of 2024. And these things are huge, huge, huge products that we anticipate not only shaking the supplement space, but largely the way in which people eat generally. And it is an immense amount of resources that have gone into this, refining labs on how they actually have to test for stuff because it is so cutting edge. We've spent over 18 months working with third-party labs, helping them create methods to actually utilize and be able to test this products because it is so cutting edge. And so to have that, the fiscal and the intellectual resources behind us to be developing such products is awe-inspiring. This isn't some bootstrapped company that is looking at just kind of catching the next wave and riding it out for a few months, but rather this is a very strategic, methodically approached company that is looking for those big wins over the long run. And you're going to find companies that are always going to be nipping at the heels. You're going to find these latest TikTok trends or Instagram trends to where this thing helps with bloating, or look at this hair. And it's funny because over the course of the last 2 years, I dare say we've probably seen 10 of those rise and fall. And with that, companies that try to jump on those trends seem to go by way of the trends. And I think the key is we need to look and be strategic in this. In many ways, what happens is they'll cut 1 or 2 of those 3 circles. They don't prove it. They don't make it natural, or it's not simple. And because they cut 1 or 2 of those circles, it does become a trend. And when we see what we have done, for example, with the collagen elixir, other companies have tried to mimic, and that's to be expected. Nobody tries to mimic somebody that's lagging. Everyone wants to mimic the one that's leading. And so as people come out with things that look the same or all these different things, it's to be expected. Nobody is chasing somebody that is behind them. They're always chasing somebody that's in front of them. And so we are always expecting that. We're always expecting, as we launch products, that people in the next 12 to 18 months will try to follow suit. That's to be expected, and it's flattering. But with that, that is why I always encourage, just because we have the best, that doesn't mean we can't get better. We have to be constantly innovating and disrupting ourselves so that we can always be at the leading. And sometimes it's a little risky to do that. When you're the leading of the pack, to actually kind of change things up and disrupt it, that is the mark of companies, in my opinion, that are confident in who they are. And we've demonstrated that. In fact, we have pushed millions and millions of dollars to validate these studies through independent scientists. And this is something that I really want to point out. If you notice, our studies are largely done with universities. And the reason we do them with universities is because with respect to colleges and universities, you're required to sign waivers that they say, regardless of what the results are, the professors have the right to publish that data. And so here we are providing millions of dollars to the universities to study this, but we relinquish all rights to the results and the publication. So we literally could be writing checks of millions of dollars for the results to say this does nothing. And you could imagine what our competitors would do with that type of data. But we are so confident in our products, and we are so confident in doing what is right to deliver those solutions to our consumers, that we do it time and time again. And so when companies, you'll notice that they do have something that's published, many times it comes from a private company. The reason is so that if the results are not good, they can not publish them. We don't do that. We do as ethical as we can, partnering with universities such as Arizona State University, University of Illinois, Swarthmore College, and many others, UPenn and several others. And this is why I came to Isagenix. And I do have the opportunity to go to many different places, don't get me wrong, but they don't entertain me. It doesn't excite me. And a big reason that I love Isagenix is not only the pipeline of the products that we have, the innovation, the culture we have, but it is largely you guys. It is you that get me excited each and every day, because I do believe that the greatest movements with respect to health and wellness come via grassroots. And that's largely what we're doing. It's a grassroots campaign to help individuals improve their lives, to improve their health and wellness, to give them a community that supports them as they're making these transitions. Just today on my Instagram, I talked about the craze of Ozempic. People are paying nearly $20,000 a year to lose weight. And studies have shown that as soon as they're off that, within a year, they gain 2/3 of that weight what they lost back. You could imagine in a moment of isolation to where they spend $19,500 and I think $36 is the average Ozempic price for a year. And then they can't maintain it because it's too expensive. And then within 2/3 of a year, they gain that back. And they are in isolation, versus Isagenix, to where roughly $150 a year, which is largely in replacement of food, which is about 2 or 3 times that price, they can get results that are unmatched. In fact, the results of Isagenix have been proven to be twice as effective as the other leading programs out there. And so it's an opportunity for individuals to also be surrounded with a community to support them in this. And so I look at this as what is the true ethical, charitable, altruistic solution to helping people solve problems that they're looking for. And to me, it's this. And that's the beauty of when you align all 3 of those circles, you have created a powerful, powerful community with products that are delivering those results. So thank you guys. And you are all a big part of why I'm here and continue and will forever be here. I love it too much.
One more question and one point of clarification. There's some people in the chat that just want to get just a refining of the definition of natural. I think what they're saying is sometimes nutritionists hear the word natural and automatically cringe or are repelled. Yeah. Can you just clarify?
Yes. And I'm glad this question came up. So this is why I always say, like, because people want to assume natural is binary. It's either natural or synthetic. And unfortunately, it's way too complicated for that. Just to give you an example, if I ask you guys a loaf of bread, do you consider that to be natural? Even if you use natural grains to make it and actually cut the sugar cane or the salt and did all that yourself, would you consider it natural? Well, technically, you're a man, and so you'd say the bread is man-made and therefore synthetic. I can't pluck the loaf of bread directly off of a tree. And so, unfortunately, this is why you don't see Isagenix say 100% natural, because the FDA itself does not know how to classify natural. It's a very, very difficult word to say. At how far away from the tree, so to speak, does it have to be before it to be considered no longer natural? And you find some people that kind of play around with this with respect to, natural components, when you're like, man, that is a huge, huge stretch. And so there's no clear-cut definition of what is natural and what is not. So I understand why people cringe. Those that are very close to it can understand. And this is why I say, like, we are always trying to become even more natural. I do believe you'll never achieve perfect nature. We're getting closer and closer. We're refining our supply chain, right? We're doing grass-fed cows in New Zealand that aren't using antibiotics. We're doing all of these things, but we're also now making sure that the teats are not treated with iodine, right? Those types of things, to where we're becoming even more and more natural, that a lot of people don't look at. And so when we look at that, that is something that we're always kind of refining. And when somebody says 100% natural, that to me is usually a red flag, because, man, how could you be? How could you be in today's world? And if that is the case, they'll probably have a very loose definition. And so I always believe we are as close to nature as we possibly can. And I'm excited for tomorrow to be even more natural. Right. And so that gives my team, my quality control team, my operations team, this objective to look to where they're looking down into the very small nuances of the supply chain to see what we can do to get closer and closer to what nature has provided.
Amazing. Last question, because I think people who know you, who've been around you, know that not only do you have a scientific background, but you have an unbelievable business sense. From your perspective, you're looking at these people who are all ready to rock and roll, ready to grow and explode this foundationally with the products, but also this opportunity. What are you telling them to go out and do in the next 30, 60, 90 days?
Yes, this to me is something where I always believe action precedes hope. Action precedes hope. A lot of times we always want that hope to be the very first thing that we have. And in my belief, I've always seen action precedes hope. And that is a little bit counterintuitive, but I've seen this with individuals who have done physical transformations. It's the individual who all of a sudden loses the 2 pounds that has hope that they can lose 98 more. And to me, that action precedes the hope. And one of the first things that I always tell people is sometimes you just have to get out and start moving, fail fast and keep moving. And that allows individuals to really do this. And so right now, everyone after celebration, emotions are high. People are excited. They're looking to kind of go out and do everything they can. Oh, and then all of a sudden they the world comes in and they're going to want to strategize and game plan. I do believe there is great power in just getting together and moving in that action, that concerted effort of action. And then all of a sudden that hope comes. And so I think in these situations, it is just a matter of keep moving, fail fast, learn, move, keep moving, fail fast, learn, move, keep moving. Because I can tell you the leaders at the top, they fail, they're still failing. And it's a beautiful thing. because I think true leaders aren't afraid of failing. They're afraid of not learning. And when they do that, it keeps them going. In fact, it was when my children were applying for college, they were worried about getting rejection letters at some of the top universities. And so they didn't even want to apply. And so what I did is I just encouraged my kids, don't worry about what schools you get accepted to. I want you to have 20 rejection letters. And so that became their mark, to where they all of a sudden were applying to all of these crazy universities because they needed to make me happy, those 20 rejections. And so all of a sudden now, but of those 20 rejections that they thought were for sure rejections, they may have gotten into 3 or 4 of them, well beyond what they anticipated. And so understand that in this industry, it is a beautiful thing if you can always keep that optimism going and that action moving, because that action will keep that hope alive.
I love it. That's amazing. Dr. Plant, thank you so much. I want to honor your time and just appreciate you. For everybody else, we're going to do recognition, and then we're going to have an associate perspective on celebration. Dr. Plant, thank you so much. You guys want to come off mute and give him just a little bit of love that's well-deserved. Thank you, Dr. Plant.
Thanks, Dr. Plant.
Thanks, Dr. Plant.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you, Dr. Plant.
Thank you. That was fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Plant.
Have a good week, everyone.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much. Too.
Well, guys, really quickly, that was awesome. I want to just give you guys some really quick recognition, and then Ann White, our own amazing Ann White, is going to give you an associate recap from Celebration. You're going to want to hear that. But let me just first honor some of the people that just were absolutely exceptional last week. And I'm going to talk about, first of all, Dreamers in Action, a new Crystal manager. Congratulations, Erica Matthews. New consultants were Margie Johnson and Bianca Dinsmore. Top enrollers, Margie Johnson, Emily Sutherland, Jenny Thompson, Suzanne Oberg, Laura Laurie, Kari Andrews, Sarah Hurley, Erica Matthews, Jennifer Youngs, Sheena Sandoval, Stephen Greiger, Brad Oberg, and Bianca Dinsmore. From Team Win, a brand new Crystal manager. This woman is on fire. Mindy Zanoli, we are so proud of you. Top enrollers from Iowa, Meredith Vanderzee with 5 enrollments, Jack Callagher, 4 enrollments, 3 enrollments, Lindsay Crouch, Ann and Jim White, and Lisa Pennypacker. Absolutely amazing what you guys have done, and just incredible. Really quickly, before I introduce our amazing Ann White, I just want to honor the trainers from this call. Emily Sutherland, you brought the house down with your authenticity and vulnerability. I thought you did such a great job. Jack Callagher, so many people just raving about your energy and just this new life and vitality you brought to the stage. And I think one of the biggest headlines, Holly Kirsch, your authenticity and vulnerability, how you shared with such natural, just stage presence. I loved it. So honoring all of you. And without further ado, just let's hear some amazingness from our own Ann White. We just love you, Ann. Thank you so much for being willing to share a celebration recap.
My pleasure. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Hi. I know Jack, Emily, and Holly, I'm telling you, that was just amazing, guys. Those of you that were not there, I know you had FOMO. I saw the messages. You've got to get to this event. You've got to get Celebration 2023 is in the books. And now for Celebration 2024, they've already set it in Orlando. Get it on your calendar. July, I think 24th through the 27th. Don't quote me. I know there was a graphic that came out. But guys, get your tickets. Everybody that was there bought their tickets. $99. Now I think it might be $129. I don't know that for sure. But get your tickets and get your team there, you guys. We will have so many more from our team next year, me included, are going to be on that stage. We're going to be speaking. Team Win is going to be representing, just like at Dreamers and Holly and Jack. So thank you, guys. So I want to hit it off this call with what Isagenix is doing and does best is just get us all rocking out of our seats. Who wants to go to Puerto Rico or Costa Rica? Who wants to go to Costa Rica? Put a 10 in the chat if you are going to Costa Rica. Yes, I love it. Oh my gosh. You guys, I want to explain what Costa Rica, the Race to Paradise, is all about, all right? It is in your back office. So I want to make sure you guys know, go to contest and promotions. Pretty much everything that I'm going to share here is in there for you, but I'll explain a little bit so that it'll help it be a little more clear for those of you that might be new, that you're thinking, ooh, you know, I want to win a trip. And we all, Team Win and Dreamers, we are going. So Costa Rica, Race to Paradise. The qualification started July the 10th and go till October 15th. Get your pen and papers out, write this down. Again, it'll be in your back office, but it's great to have it right in front of you on your vision board. Annie Rooney sent me a picture last night and said, going to Costa Rica. So I'm telling you, get it on your vision board. It's going to happen. Put it out in the universe. All right. So July the 10th, October the 15th. We have 3 months, you guys. I want to remind everybody, because we have this incentive and it's tagged right along with this 10K relay second sprint. Guys, we all still have time to qualify for that. That ends on Sunday, July 23rd. You guys, check your back office. Look in your reports under business. Scroll down. It will be there. The reports are there. 10K relay, second sprint. You might have 20 points already and you don't know. I had 3 of my business builders, look, they had points and they did not know. And now they're enrolling like the wind. They're going to make sure that they qualify. Guys, that's 5,000 this month, 5,000 next month. That's a max. Are you kidding? That's a lot of money on the table. So I wanted to remind you of that because this is tagged right along with it. And it's going to work in your favor. So we want everyone to participate. Why wouldn't we want to win this trip? Okay. So how it starts, 6 people, 4 to 6 people. It's a team effort. Team. This is the whole idea. We're going to work together with a group of 6. Pro tip, get it, your team for 1 PET to 4 PET and run together. So look at, you can only have 2 on your team. That's an director executive. All right. The other 4, manager, director, can be a consultant, and also associate. Has to be an associate. All right. What are the qualifying? What do you have to do in order to qualify for this trip, which we're all going to do? All right. Number 1, enrollments. All right. There have to be 100 BV or 100 qualifying order with subscription. All right. So remember the point system on that and enrollments. Think about this, guys. The more the person, the enrollment, the order is, the more points you get. I'll tell you how many points you're going to need to have. So this is really important. Enrollments, July the 10th through October 15th. Doesn't count before that. And it ends on the 15th of October. All right. So every enrollment you get that's 100 to 199 QV is 1 point. 200 to 299, 2 points. See where we're going. 300, get those value packs. 300 and above QV, 3 points. Notice how that's going to start adding up. Everybody on your team, everybody's got to be enrolling. All right. Second way to do it, customer reorders from July 10th through October 15th. Let's say your customer orders tonight, 29 days from now, their next value pack comes out and they get 300, 320. You're going to get 3 points for that. Has to be, remember, it can be a subscription and it can be a wholesale one-time order. All right. So it works again the same way the customer reorder. Remember, this is retention. This is helping build your organization and get the cycles going. 100 to 199 BV again, QV is 1 point. Over 200 to 299 is 2 points. 300 above is 3. See how this is really adding points to you. The last thing, the third thing to do, rank advancements, guys, huge. Pay attention to what I'm saying here. Rank advancements are only manager, director, and executive, and golden circle and silver circle you get points for. Consultant, you do not. Consultants are huge. We have to create those in order to get them to manager, remember? So that's huge. But as a leader, as we are growing our organization, managers, directors, and executives, you get 6 points for manager. You get 8 points for director, crystal or regular. And you get 10 for executive or crystal executive. See where the most of the majority of points for you to get to Costa Rica are going to be rank advancements. So getting those enrollments, building them from consultant to manager to director to executive. Find people for your team that are running for executive. Because boom, this is a perfect example right here. You heard Amy Collins and Mindy Zanoli. Mindy is her 1 PET, and she became crystal manager yesterday. She got 6 points. Amy developed her. She got 6 points. So it's either becoming or developing. See how that happens. Boom, that's a lot of points right there. And I'm grateful they're on my Costa Rica team. So that is huge. So those are the 3 qualifying things. Now write this down. You have to have 40 points each. All right? 40 points each on your team to even qualify. Obviously, we're going to have a lot more than that because I imagine in order to be the top 10 teams to be selected, you're all going to have more than 40, but at least 40. Let's just say you have 5 people on your team that all have over 40. That all have over 40. And I, being the 6th, and if I had 39, I do not get to go. They won, they all go. But because I didn't have 40, they're going to count my points in that, but I am not on the Costa Rica trip. So you better freaking believe as working as a team, you're all going to have over 40, right? So that is, I think on that, I don't think I missed much. So get your teams together. You have to have a team captain. The team captain will create the team in the contest and promotion. It will have it there. It has the website and it has create the team. You're going to name your team. I believe we are the Costa Crushers. I don't know for sure yet, but I think that's what the team is counting on. So get your team names, get your teams together, get fired up, and let's all get to Costa Rica. All right, guys? So that is, and I'm going to go through a quick, how am I doing, Jess, on time? Okay? We'll do a quick recap because a lot of, and if anybody has any questions on the Costa Rica trip, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer any questions as well as it's in your back office as well. Okay, so let's all win. All right, celebration. Obviously, we know our highs were Jack, Holly, and most of the Dreamer and the Team Win Builders. We live. So you guys get in Team Win Builders and watch their goodness. It was insane. We're so proud of them. So the underlying theme of the celebration for the 2 days was, I mean, just it was all just knowing your why. Knowing your why. If your why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough. But we're going to go another step on that. You think about, guys, we all hear it, but it is so true because if you don't have your why and you don't know what your why is, you can be easily taken out of the game. We've all been there. I know I have been. And when I finally figured out what my why was, nothing can take me out of this game because it's so strong. And that is because every one of us go through this, we go here, we go down. I have been there, and it's not a good place to be. But if you know your why, And so think about JJ Burton. Also, he was a former NFL player, 10 years in Isagenix. That was a big one. He talked about peeling back the onion for yourself and for your team when you're trying to help them. It's like asking questions. We hear that a lot. And so it isn't just, I just want to help people. Okay, well, that's great. We all want to help people. But let's dig deeper. Why do you want to help people? And you're asking questions, role playing. The more you're getting to build the relationship, not only with your team and with others, but really with yourself too. Because that will get you down and to a place where it can't take you out of the game when you are going in that direction. And it's a perfect example of M. I mean, she was on stage, and I'm telling you, her why was big enough. She was moved, and she was crying, and we all were too. So that is, and again, if it doesn't, you don't always have to cry, but you got to be moved by it. So I think that's a huge underlying message, and I hope you all hear that and you really work on that. And if you want to work with me on it, I will role play with you. We'll get down to that. You can also work with your team on that. Yeah. So I think that's super important. A big thing, social media. I wanted to share a couple different things on that because so many of you, and I hear this, where do I find people? I don't know. I don't have a big network. And I think that it was interesting on, I think Samantha Latour, she was fabulous. And she talked about, like a she talked about finding people through your unique identifiers. I'd never heard of this. And I thought everybody was like, ooh, that's really good. Because guys, we are in a building relationship business. Okay, it's not about just about shakes. It's not about any of that. The reason if you're having issues with finding people, we have to build relationships. Social media is a great opportunity to do that. But what she's talking about by finding people through your unique identifier is what makes you unique. We're not talking about Isagenix. Like she used herself as she's a dog mom. Okay, a lot of us are dog moms. That's not unique enough. A lot of people are. Then she was like, I went another step further. I have a bulldog. But then she was like, well, okay, that's super. But she said a Frenchie bulldog. I think that was her special. Like that was where it really was a unique identifier. Every one of us has that. Look at that for yourself. And what she said was then find a group. And the group, now this is important, guys, just not any kind of group. You find a Frenchie Bulldog group that has over 10,000 followers in it, and they do 10 posts a day. This is then you're in it. You're adding value. You're posting about things in that. But notice this is a private group. You're not talking about Isagenix. You're not selling anything. You're talking about like creating the relationships with somebody. And after she shared that, she was like, oh my God, I got a ton of enrollments from that because people now were going to her page. They were friends now. All right, guys. Now they're following you and you're following them. And guess what happens when they are following you? They're on your page. They see you talking about college. Oh, what's that? See, now you've built the relationship enough, the trust, that now they're looking at it and going, oh, I want that. I want that. See where I'm going. She said, she built for 500, another 500. So those of you that are looking to really build up, and we all are, this is a great way. And I thought that was really unique, and I had not done that. So another one I thought was Whitney Beers. She talked about hashtags. And I know we hear about it, but are we doing it? I wasn't. All right. And I did. And I followed a lot what she was talking about. I thought this was really a fun one that she did. And if you guys follow Whitney Beers, if you don't follow her, because she's really great on social media. But she said, I was looking for a new vacuum. This is a perfect opportunity, guys. You're not talking about Isagenix again. She went to Explore page on Instagram. Okay. Hashtag vacuum. A ton of people came up. She's looking for avatars, looking for people. And then she sent this message to them. I can put it in our, threads or whatever, but it was brilliant. And it had nothing to do with Isagenix, but it's building relationships. It's creating followers. Hey, Jessica, I saw your recent post about your Dyson vacuum. I actually have been looking at purchasing that exact one. My old one is junk, and I'm a busy mom with pets and need a good vacuum to have my back. Would you recommend this one? You're asking a question. You're complimenting her. You're giving her, hey, and who doesn't love to give their opinion, right? So think about that. I went in, I bought Erica Rothenberger, the epic Erica Rothenberger was sitting right next to me. She's on there and she hashtags Belgium. And she's standing, and then she shows me on her phone, somebody sends this, she sent this message to them. So you better believe I'm copying and pasting. And because why reinvent the wheel? She sent back, I'd love to hear about it. I'm like, you guys, it's that simple. So I hashtagged Australia. And I said, hey, beautiful, randomly came up on your page. Would love to connect with you. I'm building an incredible business model in Europe, and you just may be the perfect person to ask with your love for fashion and beauty. She's going to go to my page and look and see I'm a boutique, la, la, la. She has not answered me back. That was literally only one. But I'm telling you guys, these are new ideas I wasn't doing. So I have a feeling, Jack, God, I love you. Erica, you guys are awesome. So those are just ways now to find friends, to build relationships. Again, knowing your why, doing that. Then I'm going to do two more things, and this was heartfelt, and this was, I think, the biggest message from Don Leo. He talked about, and a lot of you that are on here that were there know what I'm saying, and a lot of you that are listening in the threads, and you've seen One Ticket to Pluto. You probably can't see mine. We all had to write this because he talked about his story when he was in 6th grade. He said, I'm going to Pluto. He was dreaming like it's big, the biggest stretch goal you can imagine. I'm going to Pluto. And his mom and dad were like, heck yes, you are. Like building him up. And he wrote it down and he brought it with him. So everybody was like, and he said, okay, what is your stretch goal? Right. He had us all write down. So I want each and every one of you, before you go to bed tonight, now maybe you can pray about your stretch goal, but have a goal that what your Pluto is, maybe for this year into next year, but what is your huge stretch goal? If you don't know what that is, or you don't put that out there, guess what? It doesn't happen. It's not there. So I thought, oh my God, because his story, if anybody videoed him, please put that live or put that in our Builders or Dreamers, because it was epic. So I wrote mine down and I'm putting it out in the universe to you guys because I want accountability and that you can ask me when you see me at Celebration next year. But I put how I want to go to Pluto, my early, like right now to next year. I want to go 4-star Golden Circle, 5-star Crystal Executive. I will be in the 100K club again next year. I did not make it this year, you guys. This was not my year. Ebbs and flows, but I'm not quitting, right? And at Celebration, as well as I will be a panelist or a trainer on stage. So that is what I wrote down. And I want every one of you to hold me accountable. And I want you guys to tell us when you know what yours is, share with an accountability partner. And my Pluto, my stretch goal is going platinum, maxing out Business Center, Legacy Club Millionaire. Boom. So everybody write down One Ticket to Pluto, put it on your vision board, and then write down what your goal is now and your stretch goal. And last but not least, Chelsea Lauren. You guys, she's in our Team Win Builders. She was epic. What my quick takeaway was on Chelsea Lauren, and guys, she is bigger than life. She's, I don't know what her stars are, but she is. But I think the biggest takeaway, and I think for all of us, is that she has the same, she's gone through what we've all gone through. She said, when I came in, I had this big ball of light, and I was like, do you want my ball of light? And somebody would say no, but she didn't care because she had a big why. And she was so fired up, and she had so much momentum, and she believed. And that ball of light just kept brighter and brighter. And she said, first year, 1 star. And the second year, you guys wanted my ball of light? Join me, join me. No, a lot of no's, but she was still going. Second year, 2 star. Third year, ball of light is just glowing bigger and bigger. Just everything's going great. She goes 3 star. Everything's perfect. She is just, living her best life. 4th year happens. That ball of light starts to dim. And it starts to dim. And it keeps getting dimmer. And she's starting to lose that light. And her business is going down and down and down. She didn't believe in herself. She was like, nobody wants me. I'm not worthy. I can't do this. How many times in every one of us, they're sitting on here, if you're new, you will go through this. We've all been through that, haven't we? Yeah. She did not quit. She got that ball of light back the next year. And she decided, I'm going to go back to what I did when I had that ball of light. I'm going to bring that momentum back. And she got back to it. And again, it's being consistent every day, right? It's showing up every single day. And every time she did that every day, that ball of light started getting brighter and brighter and brighter. That massive action continued. She went 5 stars, 6 stars. I mean, she is the keynote speaker because she did not quit. So I challenge each and every one of you to keep that light shining because it will get dimmer. Mine has. And then we get somebody like Jessica Regner that fills us back up. And we believe in ourselves. We are all here to work with each other. We're all here for you. And this is what this team and this is what this company is all about. We are all balls of light, and let's keep it shining.
And you are fabulous and amazing. It was an incredible recap. Guys, I just want to close out and I just want to honor Anne, especially because I've watched Anne just build up everyone who comes in contact with her, whether they have a financial connection or they're just a breathing human being. I say to my kids all the time, I don't think I've been loved until I was loved by Anne White. She loves at a whole different level. She's shown me something so incredible. But I loved particularly seeing Anne at this celebration with a team. Oh, you had over 20 people there, people running and ready. When you talk about don't quit, when you talk about holding that light up for other people to see and just continuing in the action, hope precedes action. I loved it. Action precedes hope. I loved everything that you did, but I love seeing you, Anne. You're an incredible leader. This was an awesome recap. You guys come off mute and just give Anne some love that she so deserves. You're amazing.
Thank you so much, Anne.
Thank you, Anne. You're amazing.
Love you.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank
you so much.
Great job,
Anne.
We love
Thank
you,
you,
Anne.
Love you so much.
Sweet sissy.
Hope so.
You're loved, Dan. All right. Well, guys, have a great night. 15% off, has about 2 more hours to go. Grab it for yourself, your teammates, new prospects, $200 or more orders. About 2 hours till this closes out, 15% off. So much goodness. Have a great night, guys. Thank you for joining us.